You are about to hear a story that is not just about success. It is about silence, loneliness, rejection, and quiet strength. It is about a boy born into one of India's most powerful families, yet growing up feeling unwanted, unheard, and alone. This is not the story of loud ambition. This is the story of inner fire. This story will not only inspire you, it will help you improve your English naturally through storytelling. This is the story of Ratan Tata, the empty house. The house is big, too big, long corridors, high ceilings, echoes instead of laughter. A small boy sits by the window, watching other children play outside. He does not join them. His parents are separating. Voices fade behind closed doors. And suddenly, his world breaks apart. Ratan Tata is just a child, but he learns an adult lesson early. Even rich homes can be emotionally poor. His grandmother becomes his anchor, his protector, his only safe place. One night she gently tells him, "You are different, Ratan," and that is not a weakness. But the world is not kind to different children. A boy who felt invisible at school, Ratan is quiet, introverted, often misunderstood. Teachers notice his silence, but not his sensitivity. Other children whisper, "He's strange, he doesn't talk, he thinks too much." Ratan hears everything, and each word stays with him. At night, he lies awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, "Why do I feel alone, even in a crowd?" This loneliness becomes his first companion. A mini cliffhanger forms. Will this silence break him or shape him? The weight of a name. He carries a famous surname, Tata, but it doesn't protect him. Instead, it becomes a shadow. People don't see him. They see expectations. You will lead the group one day. You must be strong. You cannot fail. No one asks what he wants. No one asks what he fears. Inside, Ratan feels small, unprepared, unsure. But somewhere deep inside, a quiet promise begins to form. The first escape. He leaves India to study architecture in the United States. New country, new air, new silence. Here, nobody knows his last name, and for the first time, he breathes freely. He studies hard, sketches buildings late at night, dreams of creating something with his own hands. Not power, not control, purpose, but destiny has other plans. A call comes from India, "Come back." And just like that, the boy returns to the shadow he tried to escape. The humble beginning instead of a high office. Ratan Tata is sent to the factory floor. Dust, heat, grease-stained hands. Workers stare at him. What is the boss's grandson doing here? Someone laughs. Someone doubts him. Ratan quietly works alongside them, shoveling limestone, sweating under the sun. No complaints, no special treatment. A worker asks him, "Why are you here?" Ratan replies softly, "Because I need to understand." This moment changes him. He begins to realize leadership is not about position. It is about empathy. The silent observer. Years pass. Ratan watches leaders rise. He watches decisions being made without heart. He speaks up sometimes, but his ideas are ignored. "You're too soft. You don't think like a businessman." Every rejection cuts deep, but he absorbs the pain, stores it, learns from it. Because deep down, he knows something they don't. A storm is coming. The turning point. One day, the unthinkable happens. Ratan Tata is chosen to lead the Tata Group. The room is silent. Some executives are shocked. Some are angry. Some are afraid. A voice whispers, "He's too emotional. He will fail." Ratan hears it all. He walks into his new office, closes the door, sits alone. For a moment, the lonely child returns. Then he looks up and makes a promise to himself. "I will build a legacy, not for profit alone, but for people." But the world is about to test him harder than ever. The silence in the boardroom is heavy. Ratan Tata sits at the head of the table, calm face, steady hands, quiet eyes. But beneath that calm, a storm is gathering, because not everyone wanted him here. Some executives exchange glances. Some look away. Some already believe he will fail. A senior voice breaks the silence. "The Tata Group is too big for experiments." Ratan listens. He always listens. And then, softly, he says, "Doing nothing is the biggest risk of all." The room freezes. This is the beginning of the hardest chapter of his life, the era of doubt. Ratan Tata takes charge during a dangerous time. Old companies, falling profits, outdated thinking. People whisper behind closed doors. He doesn't have the killer instinct. He's too emotional. He's not Jamsetji Tata. Every decision is questioned. Every failure is blamed on him, and failures come fast and brutal. Some ventures collapse. Some investments bleed money. The media turns harsh. Headlines scream doubt. At night, Ratan sits alone in his office. Lights dim, files stacked high. He removes his glasses, rubs his eyes. For a moment, he feels that same loneliness from childhood, a mini cliffhanger. Will this pressure crush him? The pain of betrayal. One project hurts more than the rest. The Tata Nano, a dream born from empathy. Ratan once saw a family of 4 riding a scooter in the rain. No helmet, no safety. He turned to his team and said, "Why can't India have a safe car that even the poorest family can afford?" People laughed. "Impossible. It will destroy our brand." But Ratan believed. Years of work, thousands of engineers, a people's dream. And then politics, protests, rejection. Factories blocked, projects delayed, losses pile up. The dream collapses. Critics attack him mercilessly. Worst decision ever. A billionaire who doesn't understand business. Ratan reads everything. He says nothing. Inside, something breaks, but something stronger survives. The global gamble. When others retreat, Ratan steps forward. He makes a decision that shocks India. He buys global giants, Jaguar, Land Rover, Chorus Steel. People panic. He's gambling India's legacy. This will destroy the Tata Group. Markets crash. The world enters recession. The pressure is unbearable. A senior advisor warns him, "If this fails, history will never forgive you." Ratan pauses, looks out of the window, then replies quietly, "If we never try, history will forget us." This story will not only inspire you, it will help you improve your English naturally through storytelling. The long night months pass. Losses grow. Debt rises. Ratan sleeps little, eats less. He walks the empty corridors late at night, listening to echoes of doubt. Sometimes he whispers to himself, "Am I wrong?" But every morning, he shows up again. No speeches, no drama, just resolve, the turn of fate. Slowly, almost quietly, things begin to change. Jaguar and Land Rover recover. Innovation returns, quality rises, chorus stabilizes, confidence grows. The same people who doubted him now watch in disbelief. The headlines change. The laughter stops. The Tata Group doesn't just survive. It rises stronger, global, respected. Ratan says nothing. He never needed applause. The leader. He chose to be unlike others. Ratan doesn't celebrate power. He celebrates people. He invests in education, healthcare, clean water, science. He gives away wealth quietly, without cameras, without noise. A young employee once asks him, "Sir, why don't you take credit?" Ratan smiles gently, "Because the work is bigger than me." In that moment, you realize this is not a man chasing success. This is a man carrying responsibility. The calm before the final chapter. As retirement approaches, many wonder, what will happen after him? Ratan steps back, without clinging to power. He walks away the same way he arrived, quietly, with dignity. But his story is not over yet, because the greatest legacy is not companies, it is character, and the world is about to understand that. The applause fades. The boardrooms grow quieter. The headlines slowly move on. Ratan Tata steps away from the spotlight, not as a man defeated, but as a man fulfilled. No drama, no farewell speeches, no hunger for power, just silence. And in that silence, his true legacy becomes clear. The man after power. While the world measures success in numbers, Ratan Tata measures it in impact. He wakes up early, reads, thinks, listens. He spends time with students, scientists, young founders. not as a boss, but as a mentor. A nervous entrepreneur once asks him, "Sir, what if I fail?" Ratan smiles gently and replies, "Failure is not falling down. Failure is refusing to stand up again." There's no lecture, no preaching, just truth. This story will not only inspire you, it will help you improve your English naturally through storytelling. Humility in a noisy world. Despite global recognition, Ratan remains disarmingly simple. No entourage, no arrogance, no ego. He drives himself, waits in lines, talks softly. Once, a security guard doesn't recognize him and asks him to wait. Ratan waits. Someone rushes over, embarrassed. "Sir, he didn't know who you are." Ratan smiles. "Neither do I, sometimes." That moment says more than 1,000 awards. But the power of giving behind the scenes, his generosity flows quietly. Hospitals funded, universities supported, research advanced, lives saved. During national crises, help arrives, fast, silent, effective. He never posts about it, never advertises it, because to him, compassion is not branding, it is duty. A journalist once asks, "Why give away so much?" Ratan pauses, then says, "What is wealth if it doesn't reduce someone else's suffering?" The lonely giant. But greatness has a cost. Ratan Tata never married, never built a traditional family. In rare moments, he admits, "Yes, there were times I felt lonely." The room goes silent. Not pity, respect. Because this loneliness was not accidental. It was chosen. Chosen in service of something larger than himself, the quiet influence. Even in retirement, his influence shapes the future. Young founders seek his blessing. Innovators seek his honesty. He invests in ideas, not for profit alone, but for promise. Clean energy, healthcare, education, technology with a conscience. A young founder once asks, "Sir, how do I become successful?" Ratan replies, "First, become useful." Simple words, enduring power. The final test. In moments of public controversy, when the world is loud and divided, Ratan remains calm. No angry statements, no blame, just integrity. He understands something many never learn. Reputation is built in silence, not noise. The reflection. So who is Ratan Tata? Not just an industrialist, not just a billionaire, not just a chairman. He is proof that you can be powerful without being loud. You can be successful without being cruel. You can lead without losing your humanity. He began as a lonely child in a big house, searching for belonging. He ended as a leader who gave millions a sense of dignity. The lesson. If you remember only one thing from this story, remember this. The world does not need more ruthless winners. It needs more responsible leaders. Ratan Tata didn't just build companies. He built trust. He didn't just chase profit. He protected people. And that is a legacy no market crash can destroy. Final words. When history looks back, it will not ask how rich he was. It will ask, how many lives did he lift? And the answer will echo for generations.